Fired or laid off? What does your employer owe you? I'm Lindsay McDowell, Mays County Attorney with Wirth Law Office. There are many things you need to think about if you've been fired or laid off. Oftentimes, you may have concerns about when you'll receive your last paycheck, whether you're owed paid time off or vacation time. An employer is required to provide your last paycheck within 3 days of the last date that your paycheck was due. So if you're fired on the 20th and the next pay period is the 31st, you must receive your last paycheck within 3 days of the 31st. If not, you may potentially have a wage or hour claim against your employer. Paid time off. Many people assume that their employer is required to give them their paid time off if they're laid off or fired, but this is not true. In Oklahoma, an employer is not required to provide paid time off at the time of termination. However, they should have a policy stating this to their employees in an employee handbook or some other policy information. And it is up to them. If they decide, they can provide paid time off, but they're not required to do so. One question is, if there is not information in an employee handbook, but you know that other people have received paid time off, then you may also be entitled to paid time off. The same is true for vacation days. An employer is not required by Oklahoma law to pay vacation days following termination. But just like paid time off, they may have a policy in their handbook to do so. The same is true again if they have a common policy of providing vacation days at time of termination, then you are also entitled to vacation days. If this sounds helpful and you have more questions about what to do if you're laid off or fired, please contact me at makelawEasy.com. Mays County Attorney Lindsay McDowell with Wirth Law Office.